All right, everybody, welcome back to the Sean Steele Show. Conference championships are here, and we cannot wait to dive into it. Steel Chambers, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing fantastic, buddy.
You ready to talk about these games?
I've been ready.
All right, let's do it. Let's dive in. We got to start with the Buckeyes. Big Ten showdown, Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, Ohio State, number 1 versus number 2, Indiana. Steele, what are your initial thoughts with this one? A lot on the line, man. A lot is on the line.
A lot, but at the same time, not too much. Because this game has not been talked about as much because no matter what, both these teams are going in the playoffs. But either way, it's still a 1 versus 2 matchup.
Right.
They're both the best teams that one another have played. You've
Yeah.
got Ohio State coming in. They're coming off a fantastic win against Michigan. Indiana, they've just been beating up on these lesser teams. But whenever you look at the matchup, I'm a little nervous for Ohio State just because it's the first really balanced offense they've seen all year.
Right.
Of course, they've got Kalen Black and all those guys in Indiana that run the ball. You've got Mendoza and his just fantastic wide receivers on the outside. And this defense has shown a little bit of, I don't want to say like weakness, but they
Yeah.
give up some yards here and there.
Right.
And then Indiana's defense, they create turnovers. They're just really good at controlling the game and keeping that defense off the field and giving the offense opportunities in good field position. But I'm still confident in the Buckeyes. They've answered all of my questions that I've had all year as far as can they run the ball, can they protect Saints. So I'm not worried about that. The defense is going to do fantastic per usual, maybe give up like a couple touchdowns this time.
Right.
But I've got the Buckeyes winning by a couple touchdowns.
Yeah, no. The reason I say it's a lot on the line because one, you got the Heisman race. I think it's clearly between. I know people like to throw Pavia, people like to throw Love in there, but I think it's clearly between Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza. So I think, and you agree with this. The winner of this game and who performs better in this game will probably win the Heisman. Then Coach Day wants that Big Ten championship. We heard King Curry came on our show and said we don't have a Big Ten championship, so we know they want that. But I'm with you, Steve. I think this game by far going to be the toughest test they've had, and it's going to come down to the front sevens and then the trenches like it normally does. Roman Hemby in the run game, and just the thing that kind of concerns me is Fernando Mendoza. He concerns me. He's the best quarterback they faced all year long. He can throw the ball. He's a talented player. I know Ohio State fans get up in arms when talking about him being in the Heisman race, but that guy's a legit quarterback. I played against him when he's at Cal, and he's smart. He is ultra smart. I don't know if you saw his segment with Urban Meyer, but the guy knows how to read a defense. Patricia's used to going against Brady and all the time in practice and stuff, so he's not going to be too concerned, and he'll definitely throw in some looks. But Mendoza does concern me, but it comes down to the trenches, and I think the last couple of weeks have made me feel way more comfortable with the Buckeyes because they have shown that, with UCLA, Rutgers, and then against up north, they developed that run game. Bo Jackson come along nicely. So I definitely think this is coming down to the wire. I got it about 27-24. Ohio State is 4-point favorite, so I don't think they're covering that. I think it's going to be 27-24. That's my final score. Give me the Buckeyes.
As far as Mendoza, I think he's got a little bit of Asperger's.
Oh,
Because
he got something for sure.
with the way he talks, I mean, he's just so sharp that it's almost a little scary. But
Yes.
that's definitely going to be a challenge. But back to these teams' schedules, because everyone's up in arms as far as Ohio State and Indiana. They haven't played anyone, and for the most part, that's somewhat true.
Right.
But that's definitely true for Indiana. The last time they've played a team above 500 was all the way back in, I think, October against Oregon.
Yeah.
So besides that, they've just been playing losing teams, and then all of a sudden you've got to play the number one team and the number one defense on a
Yes.
big stage like this. I
Right.
think that's just going to be so hard to overcome. And I
Yeah.
know they had that big win against Penn State, and we both know that they're still a talented team
Right.
despite their record. But having gone that long without seeing a true opponent like Ohio State, it's going to be so hard for them to bounce back after maybe some mistakes and make adjustments.
Okay, Steele. I hear what you're saying, but that win against Oregon is definitely the best win from the two teams. Ohio State doesn't have a win like that going on the road against a quality opponent in Oregon. I mean, that's the best win that both the teams, you put both their schedules behind, look at how they performed. That's the best win from both. So I hear what you're saying. And Oregon, that was back in October, and I do agree that up north, no matter what they've looked like this year, that's always going to be a tough test. And the buildup and the pressure, I mean, might be bigger than playing in the Big Ten championship, that game right there. So they're definitely going to be used to that. Are you concerned? Now, the question I got for you, Steele, is are you concerned coming off a big win like that, a very emotional win, haven't beat their rivals in a long time, and a quick turnaround to play the number 2 team in a country who is going to give them a test? Are you worried about that? I'm not too worried. I think Ohio State, their culture, and Coach Day, Coach Mick, they do a great job of keeping those guys level-headed. But are you worried?
No, there's a handful of teams, the Ohio States, the Georgias, were coming off a win like that. I'm not really nervous about it because I know the head coach that they have. And I know that no matter what kind of game that they just came off of, they're always going to be prepared, always ready for the next, the next test. And Coach Day, we've both been through it after big wins, going on the road or going into the Big Ten championship. He's always going to have you ready. So
Right.
that's not something I'm really worried about. I think all the players, they're old. They've been there for 3 or 4 years. They've been through that kind of stuff. They know that they've got to get ready for this one.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say about this game is Ohio State, in my opinion, needs to start faster than they started against Up North. They can't afford to turn the ball over early. They can't afford to give up some of those explosive runs like they did. They got to be on it right from the jump because, I think we both agree this Indiana football team, although they haven't played a whole lot, they have proven they are a legit football team.
That's what I'm scared of because Indiana, they create turnovers, whether that's interceptions or fumbles, and then unlike Michigan, where they got that early turnover and then they couldn't put it in the end zone, they've got the offense in Mendoza and Surratt and Cooper and all those guys that can put the ball in the end zone and score actual points.
Exactly.
And if Michigan could do that early on, then they go up by 10 instead of 6, maybe we're looking at a different game. So
Right.
that's just the kind of team we're working with over at Indiana.
Exactly. Okay, Steele. So you think Ohio State's covering that 4-point spread, or you think it's kind of like a 10-point game? I mean, how close do you see this thing going?
It's gonna feel closer than all the other games, but I see this being about a 10-point game. They're gonna be pulling out a lot more tricks per usual.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, plus you got now. We'll talk about it later, but now you got Coach Day likely calling all the plays.
Yeah. Was Hartline gone? Like, I know he took the job. We're going to talk about it. I know he took the job.
Oh God, my bad. I think he's still coaching.
Okay. He might still be coaching. We have to double check that, but I think he is coaching. Now, Steele, before we move on, we both played in the Big Ten championship. We both missed the Big Ten championship. Let's talk about these real quick. Give me kind of, I know it feels like forever ago. It feels like damn near 10 years ago. But let's talk about the 2019 Big Ten championship. That's the best team I think I've been a part of. We've been a part of. Jonathan Taylor was gashing us in the first half. We were down. I forget what the score was. But just kind of tell us about that little memory right there, what you remember from that.
Yeah, it was a wild experience, and it honestly kind of started on Friday. I'm not going to name names, but we had some players that asked to use part of our room for somewhat of a little party, and we heard them throughout the entire night. Again, not going to say names, but they ended up playing well the next day. So kudos to them.
And still,
But
the guys who went over to your room to do the partying were my roommates on the road in the hotel.
So what the hell were you guys doing over there, man?
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I told them to get out, so they went over to your place.
Yeah, they got out and went over to fucking my room and took up an entire space. I was so excited. We had a big hotel room. I was at Nick Petit Ferrer. We were cool at the time. I mean,
we had a full suite.
It was bullshit.
Okay, then Saturday we get to the game, and it didn't look good early.
No, Jonathan Taylor was just an absolute monster. And it was one of those things. It was Jonathan Taylor and then JK going back and forth all year. Who was the best running back in the country and ultimately, the Big Ten and then ultimately the country. Jonathan Taylor had his number the entire first half. And then we had that fake punt all the way back in our own territory where I think Luke Farrell caught a ball from Drew Chrisman. And then after that, the game completely flipped. Buckeyes were rolling. We scored like 20 unanswered points. Next thing you know, we won.
Exactly.
I kind of forget about that game because everyone thinks of the 2019 season. They'd look straight at Clemson, but that was a huge game for us.
That was a big game, dude. That was a wild one for sure. And then, so we win that Big Ten championship. Then fast forward to COVID year. We're having a good year. You and I are touching the field a little bit. We were playing Northwestern in the Big Ten championship. I'm at practice, and the next thing you know, I see good old Barnhouse.
Sean Barnhouse. The Grim Reaper.
Literally the Grim Reaper. He starts walking towards me, and when Sean Barnhouse starts walking towards you in the COVID year, it's not good. He walks up to me. He says, grab your stuff. You tested positive for COVID. We missed the Big Ten championship. You were in there. You tested positive. I guess we were living together. You were throwing up. You were dying. I literally thought you were gonna die. I literally thought you were gonna die. That was bad.
Yeah.
That was bad. And then we had to watch the Big Ten championship. That was a close game too, but we had to watch it on TV.
Yeah. I remember him walking up to you and thinking to myself, "I'm next. I'm about to get dragged down to the deep, dark abyss that is hell."
Yes.
And then 30 minutes later, after you're gone, he pulls me aside. Of course, I test positive. Next few days, nothing too bad, and then all of a sudden, I feel like I just get gut punched by death.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing up all over. I've lost 10 pounds. Neither of us can taste or smell anything. We both just were walking around with that 1,000-yard stare, not knowing what the hell's going on in each other's brains, and it's absolutely awful.
Right.
Past the Big Ten, we continued. We were still quarantined during Christmas and everything.
Yeah, we had it bad, dude. We had it bad.
Yeah.
I remember coming off that COVID and not knowing the playbook at all and just feeling stupid. And Coach Combs trying to put me in there. He's like, I can't put you in there, man. He's like, I can't put you in there. You don't know what you're doing. I'm like, well, Coach, I don't.
Dude, besides that, even just the in shape thing, I felt like I couldn't breathe whenever I was running. And then on top of all that, a little something, I thought I had ball cancer.
Yeah, that's right. You did that.
I remember just, I don't know what it was, but walking around, my nut was killing me. And I was convinced in my head, given like, oh my God, like I have COVID. Now this is hurting. Like I was convinced I was only going to leave that our room with one nut.
I know. That was I don't miss those times at all.
No.
At all. I don't miss those days at all. So anyway, we got 2 Big Ten championship victories. One we weren't even a part of, but we will take that Big Ten championship. Now let's move on.
Yeah. Thank you, Trey Sermon.
Trey Sermon. What do you have? Like 300 yards rushing?
Yeah, he had like a 2 or 3 game span where he went absolutely off.
Yeah, Clemson, the Sugar Bowl, he went crazy, and then against Alabama, he got rocked on like the first play and broke his collarbone. You remember?
Yeah, I was the second or third running back up, but Coach Alfred didn't trust me because I could barely breathe.
Yeah, that COVID, man. That COVID messed a lot of stuff up. That COVID messed – who knows? Maybe if you didn't get COVID, you would have played in the Bama game, went for like 220, and he would have been a legend. You never know.
No.
I remember watching that 2020 national when we were on the sideline, obviously, that year. Watching Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, and Mac Jones just tear us up was a bad, bad feeling. Okay, let's move on to the SEC championship. You ready to move on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, this one, I'm pumped about this one. The number 3 Georgia Bulldogs taking on the number 9 Alabama Crimson Tide. Georgia opening up as 2.5-point favorites. Steele, what are you thinking, man? What are you thinking?
It's crazy after a year of chaos in the SEC, we're down to the usual suspects.
Literally.
It was always going to be Bama and Georgia and Atlanta. But this is a whole different situation than years prior and then even earlier this year because Georgia right now, they're rolling. Their defense is hitting on all cylinders. Gunnar Stockton looks like he's somewhat of a Heisman contender. And then Alabama, the last month or so, they just have not looked good on either side of the ball, really. Their defense, they give up a little more points than usual. And then the offense, they just haven't figured out how to protect Ty Simpson. And that's now become a premium because they've almost lost the run game besides last week.
Right.
But for the most part, I see Georgia coming in and getting a big win, something that Kirby Smart has really struggled to get during his time in Athens is a win against Alabama, and I think he does that this year.
Yeah, still, I think, well, for multiple reasons. One, you're absolutely right. The run game for Bama has been atrocious all year long. They did look pretty good. Jim Miller did look pretty solid against Auburn. But we've talked about Kirby Smart, and I'm a Kirby Smart enthusiast. Mm-hmm. There's no way that Alabama comes in, breaks their like 23, 30-game win streak, whatever it was, in the hedges early in the season. There is no way that Alabama is beating Georgia in the SEC championship this year. No way. Kirby Smart is going to have these guys ready to run through a brick wall. Like, I just don't see it happening. Gunnar Stockton's playing phenomenal. Branch, he's getting going. He's been having a solid year. The run game's been strong. The defense has improved. Remember Tennessee, they gave up a lot. Ole Miss, they gave up a lot. Improved a little bit late night game. They've had their woes this year, but they definitely have gotten better. And I think right now, if I had to pick 2 teams, 3 teams, I'll go Ohio State, Georgia, and Indiana, with question mark by Indiana because I just want to see how they look against Ohio State this weekend. But Ohio State and Georgia, I'm sold on all the way. I'm sold on.
Yeah.
I see Georgia taking care of business. I like when they ask Kirby Smart if he'd rather sit out the we talked a little bit about this already. Would you rather miss the SEC championship? He's like, I don't want a scared football team. I don't want to play. I want to play, and I want an SEC championship. And he talked about when the SEC championship used to mean something, and he takes pride in it. I'm telling you, I got the Georgia Bulldogs up by 17, 20-point victory.
Jeez.
That's what I got.
I mean, you look at the way both these teams are playing, and it's like oil and fire right now as far as this Georgia defense and this Alabama offense. Because early on, especially whenever they played them the first time, they did not know how to get pressure on the quarterback.
Right.
And then something happened with that defense. All of a sudden, they're getting nothing but pressure. You saw it against guys like Arch Manning.
Yeah.
And this Alabama offensive line, they've been struggling for a while now.
Yeah.
And then there's just no run game.
One against Florida State, they struggled.
Yeah, and then they found a little bit of a groove, and then they lost it again.
Yeah.
South Carolina. With those 2 things working in Georgia's favor, and then of course the Alabama defense, they've been giving up a decent amount on the ground against quarterbacks. And Gunnar Stockton, he's not a crazy runner like Ashton Daniels from Auburn, but he can get stuff done on the ground.
And he's a tough dude. That's a tough.
He's a dude that's gonna will a win.
He's the perfect Georgia quarterback. He is the perfect Georgia quarterback. So we're both in agreement, Georgia. Now we're gonna get into this a little bit later. So don't get too much into it, Steele. But I do want to ask, if Alabama loses, are they done? Just say yes or no. Are they out?
I'll give you yes or no.
Okay.
It's a different circumstance because it's a team they've already played and beat.
Yes.
And it's hard to beat a team twice.
Yes.
So it's a different circumstance.
All right.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we're gonna dive into it. Okay, so we both have Georgia. Let's see if I'm missing anything here. We covered everything. You ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay. This is a big showdown, man. In the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. I'm not usually tuned into the Big 12, but I tell you what, I'm tuned in this year. And I'm tuned in for this one. We got Texas Tech, number 4, versus number 11, BYU. Steel Chambers, are you ready for this? Texas Tech opening it up as 12.5-point favorites. 12.5-point favorites. How do you see this one going?
I see it happening the exact same way it happened a month ago.
In Lubbock, when they put it on them?
Texas Tech domination.
Really?
They had 9 plays in Texas Tech's field.
Yeah. And
across the 50-yard line.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying BYU did. BYU's offense
in Texas Tech's territory.
Okay.
BYU's offense only – yeah.
And also, if you remember, Steele, that game could have been way worse. BYU's defense saved them, bro. BYU.
Yeah, and Morton was off. He was not too good in the pocket that game. If Morton can turn it on, and then this Jacob Rodriguez-led defense keeps playing the way they're playing, I see no reason for this to be any different.
Okay, well, here's what I got. One, Tech's defense is legit as it gets. They, throw the Big 12 title out of it or throw the Big 12 kind of narrative out of it. Texas Tech is the top 5 defense. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay, and Jacob Rodriguez is the man. Texas Tech on the offensive side of the ball, they got weapons. They've been struggling in the red zone, and that's what kind of kept that you talked about a little bit game close against BYU. Now, with the whole BYU Sataki situation, him almost going to Penn State, the booster stepping up, donor stepping up to keep him. There just seems to be a good buzz in BYU that I'm liking. He's coming back. The players are all fired up. The fans are all fired up. They seem confident going into this game. I know it's in Dallas, but it's still technically a neutral site. BYU fans are going to show up. I like BYU. You like
BYU.
I like BYU. Give me BYU at least to cover that 12.5. But I like BYU. I do. Bear Bachmeier, he didn't have a good game.
Straight up money line, BYU.
Yes, BYU. Give me BYU. Give me BYU. I like Bear Bachmeyer. I like the little receiver they got, the punt returner and the receiver. I think he's leading the Big 12. I got to double check that.
Little Ryan Switzer.
But yeah, little Ryan Switzer, exactly. I like their defense. I like BYU. I think BYU wins, and that's going to cause some chaos, and Notre Dame is going to be stressing, which we will get into more. So, Steele, you got Texas. Go ahead.
I can see where you're coming from, but a few things have to happen, in my opinion.
Okay, let's hear it.
They can't let Bear lead this game.
Yeah.
He's had a great year, but he's young, and you saw that last time they played Texas Tech.
Right.
And they've had LJ Martin really pick it up the past few weeks. He's got like 300 yards and 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games. So if they can rely on that run offense a little bit and maybe open things up for Bear, then maybe you're looking at a different game.
Yeah.
But the run defense for Texas Tech is phenomenal. Have a great front. Of course, got the mustache Mysterio in the middle. I really think Texas Tech wins this by a large margin.
So you got them covering the 12.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
right.
Lubbock is 300 miles from Dallas. It's going to be a home game. Everything's lining up for Texas Tech.
I don't know. I hear the Mormons love it down there in Dallas. We'll find out. We'll find out. I'm glad we're on the opposite ends of that. Okay. Let's move on. And this one is just going to piss me off talking about this. I know it's going to piss you off talking about it. We got the ACC championship. The Blue Devils at 7-5 versus Virginia Cavs. All I'm going to say is, Steele, I hope Mitchell Melton has about 5 sacks, a strip sack, a tipped up to himself interception, pick 6. I want to see Virginia win, and I want to see Virginia get in. Duke, I want to see it. Virginia's 4.5-point favorites. I want to see Virginia win by 3 touchdowns and really prove
4.5. I mean, it was a close game last time they played.
I want to see Virginia put it on them. Virginia needs to put it on them to prove
they can, dude.
Yeah,
Chandler Morris, he's a good quarterback. He's a baller.
He is a baller.
And then of course they've got Mitch, but you've got to change this.
Yeah.
You can't have Duke in the ACC. I mean, it's almost laughable, and somehow this is what we're getting. It's so bad. I mean, like the Duke defense, they have given up 45 points to Clemson, 37 to UConn, 34 to Virginia last time they played, and then 32 to Wake Forest. I mean, like, come on. This is unbelievable.
No, it's bad. It's bad. And now, how about Tony Elliott with the Virginia head coach? He was with Dabo for a while. He knows about winning ACC championships with Clemson, and now he's doing it over Virginia. He was in the hot seat. He's gone through a lot. Remember, Steele, Virginia's his first year at Virginia is when that kid shot up a bunch of those kids. Do you remember that? When they're getting off the bus? And those 2 kids died from Virginia.
Oh, I thought it was 3. I'm not.
I forget the exact number, but
I think it was 3. Yeah, I'm remembering now.
A former player went, and that was his first year. I mean, he's been through a lot. He was on the hot seat. They got a bunch of good transfers this year. Chandler Morris, Mitch, who we always talking about. I want to see Virginia deserves to get in after everything they've been through. I just hope it's not close. I just don't want to see it close. Let's go Virginia. Let's go, man.
I hope they win, because if Duke wins, it's going to be such a bad look. Next thing you know, you're going to have the American and the Sun Belt probably get in, and then whoever's ranked 5 and 6, respectfully, they're basically going to have bye weeks.
Exactly. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to one of those. The American. Now, the biggest thing with the American matchup, North Texas and Tulane, both of their coaches, Morris and Sumrall, are leaving. Morris is going to Oklahoma State. Sumrall is going to Florida, but they are coaching through the rest of the year. What do you like about these 2 teams? What do you got? What do you got with this?
So you've got North Texas. Right now, they've got the hottest offense in all of college football, apparently, averaging 500 yards, almost 46 points a game. Yet they haven't really played anyone. And then Tulane, even though they've lost a game against Ole Miss, they have some solid wins just compared to other teams in the league. I mean, they've got one against Duke. They've got one against Memphis. So they've got a little more experience against these, I guess, bigger teams.
Right.
But like you said, they're both losing their leaders. That's always going to be hard. I see North Texas getting this one. I mean, that offense is genuinely insane, the numbers they're putting up.
Yeah.
And Tulane, I mean, they've got experience, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to stop them or at least keep them at bay long enough. to win this one. So I've got North Texas.
Yeah. Okay, we're on the same wagon. I love Coach Morris. I love the quarterback they got over there in North Texas. I like what they're doing. I want to see North Texas get in. I know their head strength coach. He's somehow I'm blanking on his name. Brian Kagans. Brian Kagans. He was one of my strength coaches at USC, as good as it gets. So there's no surprise that North Texas is in this American championship. So we'll see how it plays out. But I like North Texas. Give me North Texas in that one. Okay, let's move on to the Sun Belt.
And plus,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I think they've got a better chance putting up a fight against one of these bigger teams in the playoffs that they get in, just because their offense is actually like pretty good.
No, I agree. I like North Texas. I like Morris better than I like Summerall, to be honest with you. I think he's the better coach. But we'll find out. All right, Steele, let's jump into this Sun Belt matchup and get this thing over with. JMU versus Troy. JMU opening up as 23.5-point favorites. And all I have written down for this game is JMU needs Duke to win badly. So you tell me about this game and how you see this one going.
Yeah, there's a chance that they don't even need Duke to win. I don't remember exactly where they're ranked right now, but there's a chance that they can even beat out whoever wins the American.
Right.
I guess depending on kind of who wins that. But JMU, they've been steamrolling teams. They don't really play anyone, but at the end of the day, they leave no doubt with their wins. And Troy, I mean, they're 8-4. They're hoping to take down a team that can possibly go to the playoffs, so that could kind of generate a little bit of pride, a little bit of excitement for this game. But I mean, JMU has not shown any weakness against any of the teams they've played this year. I see them winning this game pretty comfortably and possibly getting a playoff spot, depending on how things shake up. Who knows what happens?
Exactly. I got JMU covering the spread, 23.5 points. But Troy, they're sneaky. We've seen them upset LSU. We've seen Troy upset a lot of teams in the past, so you don't know what you're going to get. But I got JMU big time. And their coach, heading to UCLA, we talked a lot about that. And we'll see how he does in this final little run with JMU. Okay, let's move on. Let's dive into the – go ahead.
Have you seen the Billy Napier news?
I have not seen the Billy Napier news.
He's coming out as a possible candidate for that JMU job.
Really? I would love that. I love Billy Napier.
I mean, it's going down a peg, but he'd kick ass.
I know. I love Billy Napier, man. That would make me so happy. He didn't, quite perform at Florida, but you never saw his players quit for him, and everybody just. And if you know somebody who knows Billy Napier, they're going to say good things about him. So give me Billy Napier. That would be great. Now let's since we're on the coaching train, let's continue with it.
Okay.
A lot of movement. One that I forgot to mention, we talked a lot about a lot of these hires on the last show, but one I forgot to mention, and this is probably my favorite, is Fitzgerald coming back. Remember him?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Over Northwestern.
Hazengate. But this dude is a badass coach. I would want him coaching me. I would want him coaching at my school. He's at Michigan State. Steele?
That could maybe revitalize this Michigan State team, because back in 2020, we were playing them for, God, I think it was like the number 3 versus number 5 team back whenever they had K9.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, they've just fallen off the face of the earth.
Yeah, 21.
Oh, it was 21. Gosh.
Yeah,
2021.
We broke them, bro. We broke them. They came into that a top 5 team, and what was it, like 56-7, 49? It was like 42-0 at halftime.
49. It was 49-7, I think, at halftime. College game day was there. It was supposed to be an absolute dogfight, and it was ugly.
I know. I hit stick that boy. Kenneth Walker, I hit sticked his ass. I was so pumped after that. Man. We put it on. We put it on them big time, but they haven't been the same since. The old coach, what was that, Tucker?
Mm-hmm.
He's messing around on Zoom, having his ding-a-ling flying around. He gets fired.
It was.
Yeah. They bring the Oregon State offensive line, or Oregon State head coach. They bring the Oregon State head coach. I thought he was going to do a nice job there. I really did. What was he there? 2-3 years? I don't know if he got the exact time to make it happen, but Fitzgerald will make something happen with no matter what kind of recruit.
Yeah, he's going to definitely improve this team, and it's something that they need right now, because they used to be such a solid program, and now they're at the bottom tier of the Big Ten.
I know, and I like when Michigan State's good. I feel like the Big Ten's better when
Yeah,
Michigan State's good. Le'Veon Bell back in the day. I mean, Michigan State used to make things happen. You remember the year it was either the year before or the year after Ohio State won their national championship. I think it's the year after they had everybody come back.
they were in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. They had who was their quarterback again? I forget his name. Do you remember the guy's name? I gotta look this up.
Was it Kirk Cousins? No, Kirk Cousins
Michigan
was before
State.
that.
It was pretty much a Kirk Cousins clone. QB 20. What was that? 15.
Yeah, that was the year
Connor
that
Cook.
Alabama won with
Connor
Henry.
Cook. Is that right? I don't
Who
remember.
cooked?
Connor Cook. Does that
Connor Cook. Yes, that's
okay.
it.
For some reason, it doesn't sound familiar to me. But what did they go on and get blown out by Alabama in the playoffs? They got whooped bad.
Yeah, I remember Derrick Henry specifically stiff arming some dude down to the underworld.
Oh my God, that just completely threw me off my train of thought. Okay, now let's talk about this. Ohio Nation is devastated about this one.
Yeah.
Shook up National Signing Day. Let's see. But I'm talking about Brian Hartline going to USF. And Steele, did you see Coach Day's comments on all that or no?
Yeah, I mean, he was positive as he should be because Brian Hartline he's a Buckeye through and through. He played for them, had a fantastic career, has been with this team for, I think 10 or so years. And I mean, his kids love Ohio State. They're always running around playing with the players. His wife loves Ohio State. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where you've just got to spread your wings and fly because he's been a great recruiter and coach. And now he's getting an opportunity to go to a school like USF and improve him, which he's going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be in Florida. He's going to get all the wide receivers that he wants. I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to be right in his backyard, and he's going to do fantastic there. And whenever you're Coach Day, you're just kind of sitting back like, this sucks, but this guy's my dude. I want him to succeed.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Saban thing. I mean, back in that, I think 2015, 2014 team, I mean, now all of his coaches, they're off head coaches at all these programs.
To me, that's how you really solidify yourself as one of the goats of coaching is when you can have like Saban. Look at all the guys that's how you know you're a goat. When they start saying this guy coached under Coach Day, this guy coached under Coach Day, that guy coached under Coach Day, that's how you know you've done something the right way. So I know I'm pumped up about it, but the statement I was talking about is kind of, he just said it's not good timing, but that's not his fault. And we've seen that kind of mess up, signing day. Chris Henry Jr., one of the best wide receivers. You're telling me the guy's supposed to be like the next Jeremiah Smith or whatever it may be. Now it's predicted he might be going to Oregon. That's what I'm hearing. So it does suck. I do think Chris Henry should really, really stick with the Buckeyes. I think you got it. Coach Hartline's a great coach. I understand what he's doing. I understand the move for pausing. He should pause. I would pause too and really weigh my options. But Ohio State's program is going to develop him with Coach Hartline or not. And whoever the next wide receiver coach, next offensive coordinator is, it's going to be somebody elite. Ohio State is still a place to go to be developed at the most highest elite level. So hopefully he sticks. And if he doesn't stick, hopefully he goes to the USC Trojans. I'll be happy if he went to USC. But it sounds like he might go to Oregon.
Yeah, piss away your freaking career over in Los Angeles. Whatever.
Number one recruiting class, Chambers. Number one recruiting class.
I don't care.
35 commits.